Hi guys, this is just my video solution to the first question and the third exercise that you have to do this week in case anyone's not sure. Now I know that I show my working slightly differently from the guy who you've been watching the videos on, so just in case you want to follow what I've been doing, I always label my equations 1 and 2. I suspect it's a technique that I was probably taught when I was at school, and I just follow that procedure now. So the difference with the previous ones we've done is that at the moment we can't just manipulate one of these two equations so that they've either got the same number of x's or the same number of y's. So what we've got to do instead is kind of manipulate both of them. So, I mean, there's different options you could take. You could aim to get the same number of x's here. So I could times this by 5 and times this by 2, and I would have 10x in both of them. In this case, I've decided to keep the numbers a wee bit smaller, and I'm going to aim to get the same number of y's. So if I times the whole equation by 3, I'll get 6y. And if I times this whole equation by 2, I'll also get minus 6y, and then we can work out how to cancel from there. So that's exactly what I've done. You can see I've stated I'm taking equation 1 and I'm timesing all of it by 3. So don't make the mistake. Make sure you work through and times every single thing by 3. So you end up with 6x, 6y and 42. I'm then taking the second equation and I'm timesing it all by 2. So again, make sure you times all 3 things up here by 2. So now what I've managed to do, I've created 2 kind of equivalents to this. So I call them new things. I call them 3 and 4 because they're not the same equation, but they're like equivalents. It's like an equivalent fraction. I've got an equivalent equation. So now what I'm going to do, and I choose, depending on what my signs are here, because these are alternate signs, positive and negative, the way to cancel out the y's in this case is not to take away when I add these together. A plus 6 and then adding to that a minus 6 cancels out. So for this one, I'm choosing to add. Now, it depends obviously whether it's plus and plus or minus and minus. Depends what signs you've got. You would either choose to add or take away, and you've seen that already. So in this case, I'm adding my x's. I'm actually adding my y's to give me no y's, and I'm adding the numbers at the end. And so I end up with an equation that only involves one unknown, in this case x, and I can just divide by 16 to get x equals 5. Then it's my same procedure, and what I'm seeing some of you doing when you go to do it is you're substituting into here or here. Now these are all going to give you the same solution. So instead of substituting into something with bigger numbers, choose one of the more straightforward, smaller numbered ones if you've got choices. So I just substituted into the first one. So I took the first one and I replaced my x value with 5, and then I solved it as normal, just solving an equation. And obviously make sure you state your answers nice and clearly at the end together. And that's all there is to that. Let me know if you've got any questions.